The Bob Feller Story. This is my own story, the inside story of how I got to the big leagues. This is the Bob Feller Story. First, let me tell you about the time I broke the strikeout record for one game. I was only 19 back then, back in 1938, and we were facing the Tigers in the last game of the season. "Bobby, you got a chance at the strikeout record. Let's go after it." That was the fifth inning, and I settled down to pitching strikeout after strikeout. It came down to the ninth. I needed just 2 more strikeouts to set an all-time record of 18 in a game.
"Strike 3, you're out."
The first batter in the ninth was Pete Fox, and I threw a third strike right past him. The next hitter, Roy Cullenbine, smashed out a single. I was beginning to tire, losing the edge. Then came big Hank Greenberg. He also caught a hold of one, but it was only a fly to left. 2 out now, and I still needed 1 more for the record. Next hitter, Bertie Tebbetts, walked. The last out to go, and the last chance at the record. It was homer hitting Chet Labs at the plate. I'll pour everything I've got into these pitches. I'll keep feeding him the fast one. I threw the first strike past him. Then he hit the second one, foul, strike 2. 1 more strike to go. The next one fooled him completely. It burned over the plate. The umpire lifted his thumb, and I had set a mark higher than Walter Johnson or Christy Mathewson or any other pitcher ever made, or Dizzy Dean, who had held the record.
"Strike 3."
That's it. He set the record. 18 strikeouts. I was only 19 then, but I had been playing baseball all my life. My father was my first teacher back on our Iowa farm. "Today we'll work on your fastball again, Bobby. Remember, get your balance before you throw." "Okay, Dad. I'll show you something today." "That's throwing it, Bobby. Always bear down, son." "You bet, Dad. I'm out to win." We got together a team called the Oakviews. I pitched for them. I pitched in high school. I pitched for a semi-pro team when I was 15. When I wasn't pitching in games, I was bouncing a rubber ball off the side of the barn. Anything to strengthen my arm. Then an Indian scout showed up, and we signed a contract. We didn't know then it was breaking a rule of baseball. And my contract came before Judge Kensaw Mounthill Landis, Commissioner of Baseball. "This signing of Bobby Feller is not valid. The Indians signed him in the name of the Fargo Moorhead team. But that's only a cover-up. Call them all in here." Judge Landis called us in, and everybody argued. Scouts from a dozen big league teams wanted to offer me a fortune to sign with them if Landis cut me loose. And the argument raged until, "What do you think, Bobby?" "I want to pitch for the Indians, sir. They say I could have made $100,000 if Landis cut me loose, but he left me with the Indians." I was a big leaguer then, and I'll never forget my first exhibition game against the Cards. I never saw that pitch. What was it, strike 2? "That's right. You have another one coming." I tossed 2 strikes past Leo Durocher, who was the Cards shortstop then. He began to walk away from the plate. "Come back here. You got another strike left." "No thanks. I don't want it. Not the way this kid throws a ball." My first big league game against the Browns. I struck out 15 of them. Glad that game is over. I struck out only 3 times. He's not so hot. I got a foul off him in the third and only struck out twice. 2 weeks later, against the Athletics, I was faster than I ever was before. I fanned 17 of them to tie Dizzy Dean's all-time Major League record for 1 game. "I never want to get any nearer than the press box when this kid's pitching." I asked him one day what he did when he got in trouble. He told me he just throws his ball a little faster. I was growing up and getting better. Starting in 1938, I won 17 games. In 1939, I won 24. In 1940, I won 27, and in 1941, I won 25. Back in 1939, I got into my first All-Star game. "Tough spot to leave you in, Feller. The bases are loaded, 1 out, and Arky Vaughn's coming up." "I'll do my best with it, Tommy." I took over from Tommy Bridges in the 6th. There were 63,000 fans watching me in Yankee Stadium. I pitched. Vaughn swung. Vaughn was a tough hitter, but he hit this one down to Joe Gordon to start a double play. We were out of the inning. No National Leaguer got a hit off me until the 9th. I fanned Hack and Mize to end the game. The American League won 3-1. "Nice going, Bobby." The next year on opening day, I set down the White Sox without a hit. But then the Japanese struck at Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. 2 days later, I enlisted. "I want to join up in the Navy, sir." "We sure can use you, Bob." 4 years in the Navy. I crossed the equator 28 times. Then in August 1945, I was a civilian again. The big question is, can Bob still pitch? I won only 5 games that season, and they said I didn't have it anymore. Next year, I lost 2 in a row early in the season. They said I was washed up. when I faced the Yankees on April 30th.
Safe.
The game was scoreless until Frank Hayes hit a home run for us in the ninth. But the big thing was, no Yankee got a hit off me all the way. I had another no-hitter going.
Strike 3.
An error put the first batter on base in the ninth. Henrik sacrificed him to second, and DiMaggio came up and laced into my pitch. What a sock! Boudreau gobbled up the grounder and threw DiMaggio out at first. Then Charlie Keller grounded out, and I had the second no-hitter of my career.
Out.
That same year I broke the big record, the old mark set 44 years before by Rube Waddell for strikeouts in one season. I had come back with a vengeance. Feller strikes out 348 in season, breaks Waddell's all-time record. Bob Feller strikes out 348 in season. And that's my story, the story of an American farm boy who made the grade.